Members, this is Judi Anderson from JudiStamps.com, where I hope to inspire you to be creative in your everyday stamping and paper crafting. How's everybody doing today? We're going to be using a new stamp set from the new January to June mini catalog called Hot Dog. So let's get stamping. This is the stamp set Hot Dog. As you can see, it has several little dachshunds, and I think that it could also be a little beagle. It has a beagle look to it also. What I love about it, it has a little cone. This image here is for a coat or blanket over the side of the dog, and it has earmuffs and little bows and bones and a balloon, a bow tie, and a happy birthday hat, a little beret, which I think is just adorable, and some little footprints. So let's get stamping. Today we're going to be making a square card. You know, last year slimline cards were the trend. This year square cards are going to be the trend. So I have a piece of 4 1/4 by 4 1/4 basic black. I have a piece of basic white which measures 8 by 4, and I've scored it down the middle at 4 inches to create a 4 by 4 card. I have used our rectangle stitched framelits to cut out this basic white piece of cardstock. Then I have a piece of basic black, which is just a sliver over our rectangle, stitched rectangle. I have a scrap piece of basic white, which we'll be stamping on. And then I have 4 pieces of designer series paper. Now this designer series paper is coming out in the 2021 to 2022 annual catalog. And the only way you can get it right now is if you join my team. You'll get 200 sheets of designer series paper, which is 5 packs, and the value in the US is $69. Let's get stamping. Okay, I am going to first stamp on my stitched rectangle. I am using Memento ink, and I am using the verse, "Hot Dog, It's Your Birthday." Stamp that up, and we're going to put that on here straight. I don't have it mounted on my block straight, so let's hope I get it on here straight. I'm just going to fit that right there. Now I'm going to grab my scrap piece of basic white. And on here, I am going to stamp my little dog. We're going to get several images stamped on here, starting with the largest and going to the smallest. The next image I'm going to stamp is this balloon. And then we have the little birthday hat. After all, this is going to be a little birthday card. Okay, we're done with our stamping, and now we're going to do some of our coloring. For our coloring today, I am using some of our Stampin' blends. I have my dark and light Poppy Parade. I have the light basic black. I have the light cinnamon cider, and then my color lifter. So let's get coloring. I'm going to color the balloon starting with the dark Poppy Parade, and I am just going to do a little shadow along this bottom edge here. I'm going to take my light Poppy Parade, and I'm going to blend into that, pulling that color around and going around in a circle. Now I do want to leave a white space, so I'm just going to color in here. And now you can see there's a definite line here. We're going to go over this, blending that color up and in. Okay, now I'm going to take my brush tip, and I am going to go over lightly this white spot, just like that. Okay, I forgot, I am also going to be using my pool party, and I think that the paper that I'm actually using is the Bermuda Bay, but I want the hat lighter. So, no, you know what? I'm going to use the Granny Apple Green. Let's use our Granny Apple Green. We're going to use the dark for our dark shadow again. And we've decided that on our balloon, the right side is going to be darker. So we're going to do the right side darker on our hat and color it the same way we just colored our balloon. Blending in that color and just like that. Now I forgot to leave a white spot, so I'm going to use my color lifter just to do a little bit lighter right in here. And as it dries, you will see that it is lighter there. Just going to blend it out just a little bit. I am going to use my Dark Poppy Parade for the little pom-pom on the hat. Okay, now let's color our little dog. I'm going to go over the dark spots first, and I'm just going to layer on colors with the light. So I'm going to do my first layer wherever I want it a little bit darker. And I'm going to make his ear a little bit darker there. Now, the light basic black. Our little dachshund is going to be black. And so you're going to say, well, you just colored in some areas with the cinnamon cider. Well, yes, I did. But that's because on the tips of our dog's feet and in some other areas, it is going to be brown. I'm just going to color this in, and we will get the coloring. I don't want quite so much on his belly. Okay, now let's do his head. Now, you're probably thinking, well, that's going to be awfully dark. You're not going to see all, like his eyes and all the details, but you do, and you will see them. Okay, now I want to blend in the ear. Oops, I'm going to take the black down just a little bit more and feather that in a little bit. And then I'm going to go back to my cinnamon cider. And I'm going to take my cinnamon cider and go over some of that black so it's actually going to blend into the black. I'm going to do the same thing on its paws, his little feet down here. And you'll see how that color starts to show. I'm going to do a little bit more black on his tail. I don't like how I've done so much. So there he is. Now I'm going to take my color lifter and do around his eye a little bit and his mouth. And that's just going to pull that out a little bit. Okay, let's do a Granny Apple Green collar. Okay, so we're done with that. So we are going to be fussy cutting all these out. This is one set that I wish that they had some dies for, but I don't mind fussy cutting. So we're just going to cut around our image, moving our paper as we go. And it's okay to leave white space. You may be wondering, okay, you heard me say that I'm using basic white. That's right. As you know, our Whisper White went away because our mill closed because of COVID. But I am finding that this new basic white is comparable to our Whisper White. I haven't had any problems with it yet. We're going to do that little dog tag, and we're going to color it blue in just a second because I forgot it. Okay, I am going to cut all this excess off so it's easier to move around my scissors. You want to try to cut your images all in one swoop, not stopping like I do, but sometimes I decide I want to cut off that excess paper from around it. Now you could do that first and it would make it much easier. Oh, his tail is so little it wants to bend. Okay, so we've got that cut out. We're going to do the balloon next. Let's cut out this excess. Oh, let's do the hat since I have it in hand. So we're going to start with the hat. And just do squiggly lines around the pom-pom. It doesn't have to be exact again, but I don't want it just round. I do want it squiggly like the little pom-pom. This is an adorable set. I've made some cards, and at the end of this video I'm going to show you another card I made. It's kind of a concept card because I had an idea in my head, and then when I went to execute that idea, it didn't quite come out the way I wanted. It's still adorable, but I was trying to figure out how to make the little wiener dog longer. And I was using my Stamparatus, and it wasn't looking correct because of the shape of the dog, so I decided to do something a little bit different. And that's okay because there's no mistakes in stamping. So we have those all cut out. Like I said, I'm going to color the little tag here with the pool party right there. And I think this collar needs a little light streak in the middle of it, so I'm going to go ahead and just take my color lifter. Take my color lifter on here again because it didn't come quite as light as I wanted it. Okay, so now let's start putting together our card. Like I said, I cut 4 pieces of the new Designer Series paper that's coming out this summer. And I'm going to flip them all upside down because I'm going to be putting the adhesive on the back. These pieces are all 2 by 2. Very simple. And you may be wondering, Judy, why didn't you make your card 4 1/4 by 4 1/4? Well, I could have, but I wanted the black mat around the back. I think that the black mat just made these colors pop. Okay, I'm just going to set these on my card, each in a different quadrant, and each with a different pattern. So you're going to see the 4 patterns that you're actually going to get, and I've got a little line that's going to go between all of them because I cut it just under 2 by 2. I should have told you that to begin with. Okay, just lining up those squares. Okay, so there we are. You know, when I say that I cut them just under 2 inches, I did just shy of that 2-inch line on my paper trimmer, so I did to the inside of that 2-inch line. We're going to take our basic black mat and we're going to go ahead and attach our stitched rectangle to it with our Stampin' Seal. And here you're going to see that this is just a very, very slight black around it. But it makes it pop when we put it on this Designer Series paper. Look at that. Okay, we're going to grab some Stampin' Dimensionals. And one in the center. Now before I go and attach that, I'm going to take my bone folder and I want to burnish this score line because I want my card to fold flat. Okay, let's take our Take Your Pick tool and remove these off. This is a great way when you're using your Take Your Pick tool to keep those little chads from going all over the place. I have a little bin here that I keep them in. Okay, we're going to put this on and we're off centering this. Okay, now we have our dog and we are going to put a couple Stampin' Dimensionals on him, maybe just one. Let me see how he's going to sit here. Oops, I guess I should have put it up a little bit higher, but that's okay. Let's see. We could do it this way too. Yeah, let's do it this way. So my dimensional is just off the edge there, and then I'm going to use a mini dimensional for his head because he's going to go up above that square or that rectangle. Let's get those chads off of there. And just stick him on like that. Oh, I think that looks cute. Okay, we have his little birthday hat. For that, we're going to use a dimensional again. And I'm going to use a mini dimensional because the image is small. Don't you just love that you don't have to cut your dimensionals up anymore? I am loving these mini dimensionals. Okay, let's get this birthday hat on him, or her. This is a neutral card, actually. And now we have our balloon. So let's get another dimensional on our balloon. And our balloon is going to be flying out there. Okay, so that's the basics of our card. We're going to go ahead and mount our card onto that 4 1/4 by 4 1/4 basic black. Make sure that it sticks on there. And this is also a great way to save paper. So you'll notice I was not worried that his tail protruded past the card. Protrudes just a little bit, but it's going to be okay even with the fold. Okay, so now we also have in our mini catalog our Opal Rounds. And I love these because, yes, they look like opals, but they also give a little bit of shine without overpowering. So let's add some bling to this card. Bringing up the birthday confetti. Oops. Okay. I don't have enough sticky on the end of this. I'm going to have to fix that in a minute. So let's just add some bling to this card. Do one up here. I'm doing different sizes. Let's do this one down here. So that's 3. We'll do one down here. Let's do another one over here. So we have 5 of those Opal Rounds. Aren't they cute? So, let's do a close-up of the card. So here's our little hot dog. It's your birthday card. And it opens like this. And I'll wait to put something on the inside. I'm actually going to go ahead and stamp a balloon or 2. Just to continue that birthday atmosphere on the inside of the card. We'll do this one this way. And let's do this one up here, like it's floating off the card. Yep. Here my block hit the table. Okay, we're going to go ahead and use our 3 colors. We're going to go ahead and use our Poppy Parade and color this balloon. And there's that little sliver. Grab our Granny Apple Green. And our sliver is going to be up here. Just coloring that down. And for the last color, we'll use the Pool Party. And you're not going to see the sliver on the Pool Party because it's going off the card. And that's okay. You want your images to go off the card sometimes. You don't want what I call an angel card. Okay, so we have those on the inside and this on the front. Hot dog, it's your birthday. I hope you enjoyed this video and watch the other ones that I brought you. You can find the products I used today at my store, and I'll have the link in the description. Until next time, everybody, happy stamping!